Hey, welcome to Tech Tony. And ever since the whole mining craze hit, RX, 580s, 570s, RX 480s, and 470s, and GTX 1060s, 1070s, and 1080s have been going out of stock left and right. But what if I can tell you that you can totally dodge the mining craze by just going a generation or two back in terms of graphics cards? Okay, so a card that I would totally recommend during this whole mining craze would be the GTX 980 Ti. This is the AMP Omega Edition by Zotac, but I would recommend any 980 Ti during this whole mining craze. They can be found on eBay for like around $200 to $350, which I personally would be totally comfortable buying them in. The card right now performs really well at 1080p gaming and also 1440p gaming still. The power rivals at 1070, and I'm gonna just lift off the specs for you and do some B-roll and show you the benchmarks. Okay, so this GeForce GTX 980 Ti has 2,816 CUDA cores. It has 6 gigabytes of GDDR5 video memory. Has a 384-bit memory bus. Has a base clock of 1178 megahertz and a boost of 1279 megahertz. Its memory clock is at over 7,000 megahertz. It's of course PCI Express 3.0 and has 3 display ports, 1 HDMI, and 1 DVI connector. It takes 2 8-pins, and it is a triple fan design, and it is also a triple slot card. Okay, so installing this graphics card is pretty much just like any other graphics card, really. There isn't really too much, oh, there that one goes. There isn't really too much extra step needed. There's one thing that with this graphics card that you probably will see fairly soon is that there is some heavy GPU sag. I'm just going to get rid of this graphics card here. It's my Gigabyte 1060, which I love dearly. And we're going to slot this in for the benchmarks. Come on, get in there. Yeah, but I don't know if you can notice or see it, but there is some sag right here. Like, I just have to hold it up like there, just to make it nice and straight. It isn't super horrible, but I think that it's something that most people might want to watch out for, and for maybe like people that are just kind of earthy like me when it comes to just their aesthetics of their PCs, it might be a deal breaker. But overall, it's just like it's not really too bad. Let's just plug you in. Bam. Where's the other one? Come on now. Bam. Okay, so the first game that we will be benchmarking will be Batman Arkham Knight. This PC port had a pretty rocky start, as many of you guys know, but after a couple patches, it's actually pretty playable and it's actually a pretty good benchmarking game that I like to use. The graphics options that we will be using is pretty much all maxed out at 1080p. Even the video game work settings like interactive smoke and fog is turned on, and we are not really even close to getting that VRAM usage to max, but it's pretty safe there. I didn't actually mention that for the benchmarking bench that we will be using is it has a 5820K overclocked to 4 gigahertz and 32 gigabytes of Ripjaws 4 clocked at, let me see if I remember, 2800 megahertz. All running on a Corsair RM 1000 watt power supply. And all these games are just running off a standard 4 terabyte hard drive. On if I remember correctly, an MSI X99 gaming S7 motherboard. So yeah, we're gonna just do a benchmarking test here and see how it goes. Okay, now that we're done with the benchmark, we saw a minimum of 44 at the beginning. I think that's just benchmark hiccups right there. An average of 92 and a maximum of 134. These numbers might not seem very impressive, but I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but the interactive smoke and fog for this game kills GPUs. Like, even my GTX 1060, which usually maxes this game out, cannot handle the smoke and fog without dipping below the 30 FPS line. It's pretty intensive, so I'm actually pretty surprised at this. Actually, I'm not really that surprised, but this GPU can handle 1080p gaming for Biomarker Arkham Knight at max settings, and this game looks absolutely phenomenal while doing so. Okay, so right now our next game will be Battlefield 1. This is a pretty enjoyable game for me. I feel like this is also a pretty good benchmarking tool. Graphics are pretty nice in this. As you can see, our video settings were at 1080p. Should be off. There we go. And for advanced settings, we have 125% resolution scale, just to make it a little extra bit sharper. Frame rate limit is at 200. Can I go anymore? No, not. And everything is on the ultra settings. Go. And now, right now, we're just gonna enter into a game. The operations, like Conquest. Yeah, we're just gonna go in a game and see how well the FPS is. It's on the top right corner. Wow, we really entered in a game quite quickly. Alrighty, it's nice to see all the squads are full. Let's just sure I'm a Freddy. Like I like to play medic and credit. Okay, now that we're in, let's go check the FPS. We are above 90 FPS. It's pretty buttery smooth. Game looks as amazing as it did prior.
We have taken objective Charlie.
Man, but yeah, this I'll drop to 88, but I do believe that this game will definitely stay above the 60 FPS mark. It's one of the nicer looking games of yesteryear, in my opinion. It's just it's pretty good looking. I'm just trying to find some enemies to shoot out here, just to see what it is like during conflict. I've still yet to find anyone yet, but I have. Oh, there we go. Bam, 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 bam. Boom. Man, I'm not very good at this. Let's just toss this. But yeah, I did see some dips go into the high 70s, but still nothing lower than that. Around like 78, I think I saw the lowest. Like, the heck are they? Put the med pack in. Everyone loves it. So yeah, a perfectly playable experience in my opinion. Okay, so the next game that we will be benchmarking is Middle-earth: Shou of Mordor. This game is pretty similar to Batman Arkham Knight in terms of fighting mechanics, but this game is pretty well optimized. I'm going to think that this game will probably do over 100 FPS. We are running at 1080p, at max FPS is no limit, VSync is turned off, and for the game settings we are at the ultra graphical quality preset. You see our VRAM limit is that around like 6.5 gigabytes, which it's pretty safe. You know, the 980 has 8 gigabytes of VRAM, so we are just going to press the benchmarking button and see how it goes. Okay, and we are back after the whole benchmarking run. The average FPS is 140 FPS for the average. The max is at 208, and the minimum is 82. I kind of feel like that this card is absolutely overkill for this game at 1080p. I kind of want to just test it right away to see how it would do in, how about 4K? Why not? Why not do 4K? Since we're here, might as well do it, right? Okay, so we are back from benchmarking this game at 4K. I just decided to do it just because it pretty much crushed the 1080p benchmark. The average FPS is at 58 FPS, the max is 89, and minimum is 46. I'm fairly sure that you'll be able to hit the 60 FPS mark if you just lower down some of the graphical settings like the FXAA and maybe a couple of the graphical settings in general. But overall, this is a pretty a good card for playing this game if you plan on playing it. And possibly middle of Shadow of War whenever it comes out. Probably be picking that up to benchmark that as well. Okay, so the next game that we have on our list is Overwatch. I have the FPS limit to 300 because I can't go above that. We are at the epic settings and check under here. Our render skill is on automatic 140%. We are at everything maxed out, including the SMAA is at high. We are just going to join the game. As you can see, McCree's there in his Summer Games outfit, and so is Soldier 76, and we're just going to enter a game to see what kind of FPS we're going to be getting. Okay, we have just entered in the game, and I'm probably going to be a lame-o and pick Soldier. Oh, I guess not. Who else can I pick here? I guess I can. I guess I can play Junkrat. You see, he has this sweet summer game skin. Yeah, we're just gonna play a little bit of Overwatch to see what kind of FPS we're getting. Right now, we are hitting above 100 FPS, but that's not even in game yet. So we shall actually see what kind of FPS we are getting. And yeah, so far we are getting at around 128 FPS. We are dipping a little bit lower, but nothing below 100. This game right now is slippery smooth. I have no issue playing at this. My monitor is only 60 Hz, so I actually don't get the benefits of having it going above 100 FPS, but it is pretty buttery smooth, I have to say so myself. It's going to be around 30 seconds before actual people start coming over here and trying to beat me up, but yeah, when the conflict happens, I'll record a little bit of that and see if there's any major FPS drops. Okay, so the game just started. I see a diva out in the distance, and we're just gonna, play the game a little bit, see how it is. Okay, let's put that there. Oh, Doomfist. There we go. Oh wow, I forgot I'm not particularly good at Overwatch. There you go. We're not really dipping too much FPS at all, actually. Doing pretty dang good. I have no issues playing this game whatsoever. It is sticking at above 100 FPS. And yeah, this thing is not dipping whatsoever. Better get to that point. There we go. Yep, no issue whatsoever. Okay, so we are playing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, a pretty fan favorite. We are going to the video settings, just making sure everything's up to par. Motion blur, I'll keep it on, why the heck not? Video, everything's maxed out. Graphics. Water quality, we want that ultra settings right there. Borderless window, screen, full screen. There we go. Maximum frames per second, VSync off. Change that to unlimited. There we go. Apply. There we go. Yes. Oh, look at that FPS that we're getting. Wish that was in game, right? Okay, we're just going to continue off from where I saved off from, and we shall see the FPS is on the top right corner. I'm using the Shadowplay FPS meter just because this thing doesn't have its own internal one. So yeah. Okay, so we are at the beginning of the game here, just at the tavern. Okay, game saves. Let me get on Roach here, or whatever his name is. How do I control this horse again? Oh, we are getting above 60 FPS for this title. It is pretty demanding. I do have Hairworks, all of it turned on, so the animals and Geralt's or Geralt's hair is flowing beautifully, and the horse's hair as well. I'm just gonna run around with the horse a little bit to see what we get here, just because this seems to be like the most intensive bit about this game, would just pretty much be riding around, especially in these foresty areas. We're not seeing a single drop below 60 FPS. This is a fantastically playable experience. I would totally recommend it. We're at 60 FPS right now, 61. But so far I've not actually got... Oh wait, 59, yeah. So I'm going to say that the FPS has an average about like 63 FPS about. It's pretty dang playable. It does drop just a little bit around to the 56 mark as I saw, but it's really not a bad experience, especially look how beautiful this whole game looks right now. Ooh, it's a scary bear. I'm not gonna fight that. Oh, I wonder what happened there. Come on. Oh, maybe I accidentally pressed the button there. But yeah, this game is definitely playable. I would fully recommend if you want the best Witcher-free experience at this resolution, just to pick up this GPU. So the next game that we will be benchmarking is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. The reason why I'm benchmarking it is because actually this game is pretty dang popular if you look at Twitch numbers and all that good stuff. Ubisoft actually did a pretty good job, and I enjoyed this thing. I picked it up a little bit after launch. Ooh, I got a one alpha pack, but I'll open that later. Or maybe I'll add it as a blooper at the end or something like that, but whatever. Let's see. Wow, I'm only level 12. Jeez, I suck. Let's see my options, my display. I'm at the custom, but I am set at maximum. Oh wait, boom. Wait a second. Yeah, I'm running at the maximum settings now. There we go. On all of this stuff, I am running at again 1080p. Do I have VSync off? Yes, I do now. And we are just gonna run the benchmarking tool right now for Siege. Go. Okay, so we are done with that benchmark. We had a minimum of 53 FPS, an average of 82, and a max of 111. The reason why I think that we had kind of somewhat low FPS for this game is probably because of the TXAA. I pretty much cranked it all the way to the max, and it really stresses out the GPU a lot. Would I recommend this GPU for this game at 1080p? Yes, but probably don't put all the crazy settings like I did, to be honest. Like, you could probably just get way better FPS, especially the average is somewhat low for a esports title like this. But yeah, pretty much, if you want to hit the 144 FPS mark, just lower down some of the anti-aliasing. Just don't do what I did. Okay, so what I recommend with 980 Ti? Yeah, I definitely would. This card right here pretty much shredded 1080p game performance and did 1440p, or can do 1440p, so I wasn't able to test it just because I only have a 1080p monitor back there. But these things are pretty easily found on eBay for around the $200 and $350 mark, which if you can snag one for $200, I think that is just a ridiculously good deal. If you can get it for $350, if it's one of the more higher end ones like the Amp Omega Edition or the Amp Extreme or the Zotac, Hydro Copper, whatever, or the MSIC Arc or whatever, I would definitely snag it for $350. Anything above that, I'd be kind of hesitant. I'd just say, hey, why don't you just buy a used 1070 or something like that if you can find one for a good deal. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the 980 Ti for your gaming experience. Thanks for watching Tech with Tony. Liked if you liked it, disliked if you disliked it. Please subscribe for more. But 980 Ti that I have right here is actually going to be used in a rig in my friend's rig. He actually bought this thing like a month or two ago, and I've been pretty much using it ever since, just to benchmark it out. Stay tuned for that. It's actually a pretty high-end rig compared to the budget builds I did prior. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but let's just say that this is going to be a whole streaming and Destiny 2 build.